Today, let's talk about phishing and how you can spot phishing and protect yourself. Generally speaking, you will be able to figure out that the email that you receive, the phone call that you receive, or whatever communication, even mail, that you receive is phishing. Let me explain to you what phishing is all about. For those of you who don't know what phishing is, let's say, for example, that you use eBay, and then you get an email that says you have violated eBay's terms and conditions. You see, generally the email starts out with something that is trying to strike fear into you by saying you did something wrong. In reality, what you're trying to do is to get you to click on the link and get you to log into a fake site where they basically can figure out your username and password and/or any other information that you might have. Phishing was very popular back in the day, and I still remember receiving an email from eBay saying I violated the seller policies. At that time, I still remember selling on eBay and thinking, oh no, what did I do that was wrong? I don't think I did anything wrong. But you know what? I almost clicked on the link and almost logged in. If you look carefully at the email, generally speaking, your first clue is that the email is not written well. There will be a lot of spelling mistakes or a lot of grammatical errors. Number two, if you click on the link and it doesn't say ebay.com, but instead says something like www.xyz.com/eBay, that's a sign. That's where a lot of people get you. If you don't look at the link that you click or look at the link itself before you click it, then that can be problematic. So, I've gone to Google and went to their images section just to pull up some examples of phishing emails. A lot of times, as you can see here actually, you probably won't be able to see this because it's kind of blurry. The link itself says ebay.com. If you hover over the link, you'll actually be able to see whether that link is truly to ebay.com. I don't recommend you click on it because it could have spyware, but let me give you an example here. If I'm using an internet browser and I go to Google and hover over any link, you're able to see the link change in the bottom left-hand corner. So, even though it might say speedtest.net here, if you look down in the bottom left-hand corner, that is the actual link. Even though the link says ebay.com, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go to ebay.com. The way you can tell the real true link is by looking at the bottom left-hand corner. So, if you are suspicious of the email that you received, highlight the link and look at the bottom left-hand corner. If it does not say ebay.com or whatever your bank site is, it's probably a phishing email. That's something that you can look for. Another thing to look for is if the links look something like this. For example, we have this nationwide email phishing right here. The links don't actually show the URL, but if you hover over with the mouse here, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner that this is actually an image, so it's not a link. But if you hover over it and you don't see nationwide.com, but instead see something like nationwide.xyz.com, then it is a phishing email. Generally speaking, most people are not going to ask for sensitive information if they already have it. So that's another thing to look for. Those things, generally speaking, are great ways to figure out if the email is trying to phish for your sensitive data. Another thing to look for is on the website. This is a good example here. For example, with Facebook, a lot of these phishing sites will try to mimic the way that the site looks like. So, even though it looks like Facebook, if you look at the top of the URL at the top and it doesn't say facebook.com, then it's most likely a phishing site. Looking at the URL is key. Looking at another phishing email, as you can see, there are a lot of spelling errors, links, email threats, and accusations that you did this or that. People could call you on the phone and do the same thing. They can threaten you and say, hey, you have done this, and you have done that. Make sure that you say, okay, if you're truly that company, can you give me some information about me? Keep in mind that some of these phishing companies will have information about you. The best thing you can do is say, I'll call you back if you give me your number. Then you call a verified number for whatever it is, such as your bank. You call the bank and say, is this a legitimate number? If it is a legitimate number, you can call the original number back.